4, 3, 2, 1. Here's the opener. Death Race 2000.
All right, and yes, sirree, a clean hit, a perfect hit, and no pain for the target. Too bad the guy was only 38. Just 2 years older, he'd have been worth 3 times the points. But for the second year in a row, Machine Gun Joe has splattered the scoreboard first.
How'd you like that, huh? Get off on that one, Myra, baby!
Hello and welcome to The Worst Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind, to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Ackman. I'm joined by my co-hosts and fellow mad scientists, Rob Scucci and Bob Hasek. Hey guys, how are you? And why are we doing Death Race 2000?
I have a stomach bug, and I think I got it from Sylvester Stallone flinging clam juice through my screen and into my general face region.
Yes.
We're doing it because it was requested via email, and you can email us at www.theworstmovieevermade.com. Thank you, Nobi, for presenting us with a movie I didn't actually really totally hate. It wasn't bad. For being a product of its time, I'm willing to accept this as one of the better movies, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how it pits against Ray Milland. Bob?
I did not hate it either. I'm going to be
God.
honest. I didn't love it. It wasn't a good movie, but I didn't hate it.
It was schlocky.
Yeah, it was sleaze.
Yeah.
And I kind of like sleaze sometimes.
Yeah.
It's funny,
Anyway.
I didn't think it was that good either, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, it's like middle of the road on the transcontinental race.
So we are thusly agreed.
Yeah.
This is not the worst movie ever made.
All right, let's go home. I'm home.
Let's do it.
That was fast. All right, Bob's going to explain the movie right now. Here we go.
His alliterations are sick. Let's hear Bob explain the flick.
Hooray.
All right, get those typing fingers ready.
Okay, here we go.
We are talking about careening killer cars cause commoners to kick the can.
Cool.
That's good.
I like it.
So this is a future scene from 1975, and it sees America as the president of modern society, which also sees France as an economic enemy, apparently, and
Right.
killing pedestrians as a sport.
Yes.
So a transcontinental race, which I don't get the transcontinental part,
No, I don't either.
because it only covers the United Provinces of America.
It's an intercontinental race.
Yeah. It's run to see which driver can kill the most toddlers and elderly, and there's nudity and very bright red blood.
Yes.
That's true. Terrible blood.
That's the movie.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right.
All right, let's throw it to YouTube.
Sure.
Woo! You know what? My head hurts, my dick hurts.
And my brain hurts after reading all these YouTube comments. There was no pay version, so I selected a video called, it was the title of the movie, Death Race 2000, and its kill count, and it was just like all the death scenes. It was like a 3.5 minute long video. So here are the comments. Number 1, I saw this in the theater when I was a kid. I could never understand why anybody would make such a film. Because it's fun. KB-SVFM from 2 years ago. Number 2. Yes, the movie that inspired a video game called Carmageddon. There are like dozens of comments like that because that's just like a known piece of trivia, apparently. Sorry if I ruined your segment, Bob. Number 3. I can't stop laughing at the sewer jump fail. Oh, shit. Number 4. It's so weird how Death Race turned from running over innocent bystanders with cars to cars with guns set in a post-apocalypse. I'm about the remake there. Wrong though. Number 5. I like to think the Death Race takes place during Rollerball's off season. Number 6. Great. Now do the remake, please. And this was 4 years ago before the remake came out, or they were like actively developing it. Next comment. They really had fun making these movies, huh? Next comment. I remember this movie. I think it's the only movie Sylvester Stallone character ever died in. That maybe. I don't know. And then Last comment, only 35. He's referring to the kill count in today's films. That would have been the first 20 minutes. Okay, first 10 minutes. Which, like, if I just watched the John Wick movies that's accurate.
That's funny.
That is true.
Yes, that's all I got.
All right, so let's throw it to test number 1, the worst of its kind.
Sure.
Hey. What's going on?
We let science and data determine what's the worst movie. Otherwise,
You're going to jump to your conclusion.
Yeah.
Terminator Dark Fate with Arnold, a 70. Meh.
That's because James Cameron like came back to like executive produce it after they shit all over his franchise with like 7 other movies that sucked.
Occupation Rainfall, never heard of it, with Dan Ewing, a 60.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Assassin with Bruce Willis, a 9.
Okay.
Outside the Wire.
Okay.
What's that, Rob?
Let's do Assassin like in one of the coming weeks.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I kind of want to now. Outside the Wire with Anthony Mackie at 37.
Okay.
And then Cannonball with David Carradine, who also stars in this movie, a 20 for an average of 39.2. What did Death Race 2000 have?
I wrote about this recently for work, but I don't know the exact score, but I know it was way higher than we would like it to be. I want to say it's like, without fully remembering, I want to say it's like in the 60s.
See, I feel like that's too high. I'm going to say 40.
Get this. That's an 82. For a positive 42.8 and
Wow.
best of its kind.
Like I said, I didn't hate it. It's like, it's tough with movies from the 70s because it's a product of its time, and it's even tougher with a dystopian sci-fi that's set in the not so distant future when like we've surpassed that future in present day.
Uh-huh.
So like it's hard to look at things like as like prophetic or speculative when it's like we're in the year 2024 and like none of the shit has happened. So it aged out for sure, but like as a product of its time, like it's kind of okay. I mean, I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it.
I mean, it's almost entertaining, but it is like incredibly stupid.
Yes.
Very
So
stupid. Yes.
I don't know why it has an 82. All right, let's throw it to test number 2. Ain't that a bitch?
Sure.
To explain the movie, we're going to give you a pitch. To get yourself a girl, say.
Okay, show me your tits. Show me your tits.
I'll go first because I'm not really happy with mine, and I feel it will level up as you guys go. 5 grisly contenders race across the continent, trying to beat Frankenstein, who's probably incontinent. Sly Stallone's machine gun is a nuisance and flings clam juice with hubris. Who will win? Who cares? It's not important.
That's good.
Not bad.
Not my best work, but we'll see.
You and me,
I'll go.
Bob. Okay.
I'll go. Okay. Seeing Stallone in the 70s sure brings hope that we're seeing something as clean as dish soap. Speedy speedsters assassinating citizens, causing me to need narcotic medicine. Whoa, I'm pleasantly surprised by our need for Titscope.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Titscope. It's back. We glued it back together and got it working for this one.
Yeah, but we gotta implement a new butt barometer, I think.
That's true. There was a lot of butt. That's true.
Holy grail of tail, my friend.
All right, here we go. A future past death race with David Carradine. Stallone tries to kill Frankenstein when they share a scene. National Nazi tournament treason. Fake French rebellion reason. I'm going to light a match and dip my balls in kerosene.
Chris 4. That was good.
Yeah, I'm going Chris 4. Good job, Chris.
Awesome. I win. If I give myself a 5, what would that bring my 4 up to?
4 plus 4
4.
is 8 plus 5 is
4.
13
It's
divided
4.
by
You
3.
You can't tilt your own score like that.
Why
Oh,
not?
okay, so it's 4. Otherwise, it's 13 divided by 3, which is like 4 and a third, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Not that I can't do that anyway, but all right. Let's throw it to test number 3, the most offensive.
Sure.
Fucking slut! You touch my makeup again, I'll fucking kill you!
Come back when you fuck some of this baby fat off. See ya.
I have a problem with pussy.
If they take it out, come all over you, call a bouncer. Unless she gives you a big tip.
The most offensive. That's a great album, by the way. It's "You're a Woman, I'm a Machine" by Death from Above, 1979. I highly recommend it. That bass line, yeah.
Yeah, I do like it.
Nice.
Number 5, nonsensical national neo-Nazism.
Yep.
They actually used the word Nazi navigator. I wrote that down because I thought you were going to use it.
That's a good example. Yeah, an entire nation of Nazis. We're just supposed to have a twisted sense of the future in this movie, right? It's supposed to be dark and
yeah.
I don't know. Is it supposed to be funny? That's where it gets offensive. I don't think
Yeah.
the Nazi stuff's too funny.
Nah.
I mean, maybe I do, but I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
Number 4. This is Frankenstein's giant jar of Cosby Drops.
Cosby Drops. I'm putting that a little trademark symbol in there.
Yeah. What I mean by this is he has these like sleeping pills that he gives his navigator to get her through air raid bombing or whatever. I'm just surprised by how many he has. It's like
it was a very big jar full. Yes.
Yeah, it was like there was like 500 of them in there or something.
Yeah.
It was crazy. All right, number 3, Frankenstein's flawless, fully reformed frame and fuckstick. So,
Frankenstein's flawless. Sorry, fully
reformed frame and fuckstick.
Oh,
fuckstick.
right.
Yep.
Because it was
the Swedish engineers or whatever.
Like put him back together in a way that they didn't have to do any kind of makeup job on him. How convenient, right? But the fact that he has pieced together machinery, is he?
Or
but
so you think? Yeah.
Right. Got me thinking about our Wild Wild West episode. I think it's like number 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Back in the day when it was just Rob and I thought this might make Bob laugh, so I pulled a clip of me doing the Loveless accent. Did you add it?
Is it on the drive?
Yes, it is.
Didn't one of you post this somewhere recently? Because I remember hearing this.
Oh, did you listen to it?
I forgot to put it on the drive because I've been diarrheaing all over the place.
That's where it was. It was on the drive.
Yeah, I put it on the drive.
And I'm like, what is this?
All right.
And I listened to it and I laughed my ass off. So yeah, it was fun.
What did you call the clip? Loveless Frankenstein clip? Is that
yes, that's it.
I'm downloading.
So if you've seen Wild Wild West, you know that the Dr. Loveless character is threatening to engage in acts of unwelcome sexual penetration with the female lead, and the way he would do that is with like a mechanical penis.
All right, I got loaded up.
Yeah, it reminded me of Frankenstein in this movie, so I thought we'd pull the clip and advertise our early episode. Why don't we throw it to that clip?
Yeah, www.theworstmovieevermade.com. Here's the clip.
I might even become familiar with her myself. Oh, yes, Mr. West, I'm sure that to a no doubt well-endowed black armor like yourself, it must seem impossible, absolutely impossible that a freak like me could fully enjoy the pleasure of a woman. But having witnessed my use of mechanology thus far, wouldn't you think that I could devise something for the lower half of my body that was hard-pumping and indefatigably steely? So here's not it. He called Will Smith a well-endowed black armor. and then proceeds to talk about how he's going to rape Rita with a mechanized steel penis.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like a gas powered dildo with spider legs or something.
Yeah, exactly.
www.theworstmovieevermade.com. As you can tell, our audio quality has improved substantially over the years.
Oh, you could say that for sure. All right, let's throw it to number 2. This is scoring senior citizens and tallying toddler trampling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just not a huge fan of any time that you run over a baby, personally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The whole idea of vehicular manslaughter as sport is I mean, I want to say it didn't age well, but it probably didn't land in 1975 either.
No, probably not. That's a fair point, Rob. And finally, my number one before I ask you guys for mentions is Mr. Machine Gun molly-whopping his main competitor's mistress. Yeah, so Machine Gun Joe is with Frankenstein's navigator, and he literally punches her in the face and then strangles her half to death.
Yes. He really wanted to win, Chris.
Yes, he did. That's true.
See, I wrote that down as Sly slugging slut.
Parentheses, Sly slugging slut. Okay, cool.
Do you guys want to mention anything else before we throw it to Rob's ad read?
I have one mention, but I'm not sure if it's most offensive. It is Sly shooting the spectators.
With a machine gun?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck was that?
He had to show his namesake at one point, I guess, right?
That's the thing, is that the car's machine guns didn't work.
Yeah.
He never once used them. So
yeah.
In order to get the name, he must have had to shoot into the ass cheek arena, I guess.
Yeah. They were wrapping production like, wait, he hasn't used a machine gun yet. Like, just women and children, go ahead. Just roll tape.
His adoring fans.
Yeah,
exactly.
Do you guys want to mention anything else?
No.
All right, let's throw it to Rob's ad read.
I've had dog food.
You have?
Mm-hmm. A long time ago. Doggy chow. I used to love doggy chow.
I used to love doggy chow too.
Rob's ad read.
Today's episode of The Worst Movie Ever Made is brought to you by Hot Dogs at 3 a.m. Has this ever happened to you? You wake up in the middle of the night to the tumultuous rumbling of your tummy. Your wife's head is nestled gingerly against your chest, and her breathing suggests that she's having the most magnificent slumber. The patter of simulated rain sporadically stabs through the baby monitor, and for once you feel at peace. That is, aside from the meat sweats that started to creep in and now have taken over every single pain receptor in your body. You spring out of bed and dash down the hallway on your tippy toes in a quest for the forbidden glizzy. As the light from the refrigerator illuminates the darkest corner of your kitchen, you frantically pull out the contents of the dedicated hot dog drawer that only you have access to. And to your horror, the meat has run dry. That fucking bitch, you think to yourself, because it was your wife's turn to replenish the goods. You debate waking her up and giving her a talking to against your better judgment, but decide against it. You open the back toilet tank for your reserve supply and sigh with relief, knowing that the 4 floating links will get you through the rest of the night. You sleep in the closet gnawing on the sweaty meat tubes because you don't want to wake up your wife with your slurping and subsequent diarrhea. Hot dogs at 3 a.m. Always good to have a backup plan.
It gets darker and darker even when illuminated by refrigerator light. All right, let's throw it to test number 4, the worst dialogue.
Sure.
This is some of the worst dialogue.
You have great tits. I like nice tits.
I like having nice tits.
Were those upper decker ballparks?
Upper decker ballparks, exactly.
All right, let's throw it to number 5. This is Swiss Mechanics.
Those Swiss mechanics sure did a good job on you. What else did they replace?
Wait a minute. And I'll show you.
Comes the attachment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 4. This is Bull.
Frankenstein, can you give me an exclusive? How are things abroad?
How is Mr. President? Is he still in Moscow?
Mr. President is in his summer palace in Peking. He loves everybody.
And everybody loves him.
Here she is, that adorable swastika sweetheart, Matilda the Hun from Milwaukee, and her lovable Nazi navigator, Herman the German Fox. Matilda, Herman, do you think this is your turn to be first and foremost in sunny California?
Today, California.
Tomorrow, the world.
Hiya, Herman. I hope your buzz bomb has a little more juice in its warhead this year.
Whoever named your car the Bull was only half right.
Nice.
What is that?
That was a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, it was. It was all terrible. First starting with Tilda the Hun and Herman the German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to point out now, I think I have this in the catch-all, but this just goes to dialogue. The names are Machine Gun Joe, Frankenstein, Tilda the Hun, Nero, who's like a pretty boy, like Roman gladiator, and then Calamity Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which of those is original?
I mean, they all sound like WWE names or like spaghetti western. Names. Like really
They're
bad
almost
spaghetti.
all offensive stereotypes, really, but not really.
Yeah, close.
Not really offensive because
Yeah,
they're all problematic.
Foot in the line. And then what was the buzz bomb thing?
That was lost on me.
Yeah,
I guess it was like maybe they were making fun of their artillery cannon. Maybe he had like buzz bombs that he was going to use.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
Pretty soon, I promise. For now, let's throw it to number 3. This is Creamed and Reamed.
Here he comes! Here he comes!
Frankenstein! Frankenstein the legend! Frankenstein the indestructible! Sole survivor of the Titanic pileup of 95! Only 2-time winner of the Transcontinental Road Race! Frankenstein! Ripped up, wiped out, battered, shattered, creamed and reamed! A dancer on the brink of death! Frankenstein, who lost a leg in 98, an arm in 99, with half a face and half a chest and all the guts in the world, he's back! God only knows what he looks like under that mask, but he is back! In the name of Mr. President, America loves you, Frankenstein!
They said Frankenstein like 47 times in that one clip.
For real.
Just in case you forgot who he was.
It's a really dumb character name. That's a catch-all moment for me. I'm spoiling it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it too. Just to add to that, because the catch-all is like always too long. Was his name Frankenstein before he was torn apart?
No, it was probably just like Frank Stein. And then
I had something like here he comes, the next big competitor in Death Race, history. It's Dave.
Yeah, Death Race 1995.
Yeah. All right, let's throw it to number 2. This is Tricycle.
You know, Myra, some people might think you're cute. But me, I think you're one very large baked potato.
Roaring down Motorway 66 towards California, Frankenstein looks certain to be first across the line, but Machine Gun Joe is still way ahead on points, and he could win the race even by arriving second in New Los Angeles. What's your prediction, Grace?
You know, Junior, when Machine Gun Joe was just a little boy in Chicago, he had a pet snake that he used to love to ride over with his tricycle.
God damn it. Okay, that's bad.
Fucking stupid.
Now that we're listening back to isolated clips, it's not as good as I originally thought.
This movie sucked.
Well, that's where the bad is. The dialogue is the bad. The movie is the
really
good.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I like that Machine Gun Joe calls his navigator a very large baked potato.
Yeah.
They mentioned New Los Angeles, which I'm just sick of. I know it was like in the 70s, so. But yeah, then they say he had a pet snake that he used to run over with a tricycle. I think you can only really do that once.
Yeah, exactly. That's a one and done type of scenario.
Then you have two snakes.
Yeah.
Or 3 snakes.
Or several.
Yeah.
Or many. Yes.
And it's not going to be as much fun to run them over again.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw it to the big one. This is number 1.
You know what? Fuck it.
This is Buzzball.
She's gaining on us, Mama, and she's got murder on her mind. Mach schnell, meine kleine Buzzball.
Could you hit me with that one more time, please?
What was it?
She's gaining on us, Mama, and she's got murder on her mind. Mach schnell, meine kleine Buzzball.
But was it worth the extra edit? We'll see. Find out on Sunday on www.theworstmovieevermade.com.
Sorry, I had to hear it back again to see whether or not.
You were right to have that desire, Chris.
Is it a buzzball or a buzz bomb? Because she just said Hans Hyman buzzball.
Aren't buzzballs those little like round cocktails in a can that are like 10% alcohol? That are
yes,
sugar.
That's a buzzball.
Yeah.
Maybe
they're just drinking and driving on the transcontinental road race.
Yeah, but this is another tease for the like nuclear missile that they have that they never use, just like Machine Gun Joe's machine guns that they don't use.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Just very frustrating and very stupid. It reminded me of Leonard Part 6 when the fortune teller woman was talking.
Yeah.
And you could never understand what she was saying because she was from some like Middle Eastern part of the world where she spoke all weird, like gypsy or something. Yeah, it reminded me of that, and I hated it.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw it to test number 5, the worst production.
You got something wrong with your nipples? They're not sticking up. Stick them up.
What?
Don't blame the bad production on her nipples.
I'm erect. Why aren't you erect?
Oh, right.
All right. Worst production this week is producer problems. That is the tagline. So I don't know if you know the name Roger Corman. He was the producer, and he's famous. He's world famous, mainly known for making ambitious, low-budget movies and launching the careers of such people as Jack Nicholson, Ron Howard, Dennis Hopper. But also, he's known for having complete control over the production because he was just known for cutting the budget at any cost just to get the movie made. And even to say he had more say than the director. Okay.
Wow.
Speaking of the director was I forget his name, but he appeared as the bearded bald man who wheeled out Frankenstein on the gurney before the race.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the director.
Okay.
And he's an actor, director. He's been in lots of but Corman decided to like take control of the script and the direction and say, I'm gonna make this movie dark. And then he realized it was too dark and said, I'm gonna leave in some comedy. And it just confused the whole story as like what it was meant to be. Was it satire? Was it comedy, black comedy? Was it action? Was it horror because he had like a head being crushed?
Yeah.
It was it was very confused in general. We blame the producer on that one.
With that in mind, it does seem like one of the movies because a lot of times they don't film in order. They do all the action scenes like back to back, and then all like the inside scenes or whatever. I could imagine all the principal characters who starred in this movie watching the final cut and being like, "What?" Because like you can normally get a general idea of what the movie's like, but sometimes you film like 3 hours of footage and you only use like 90 minutes.
Right.
So I could imagine them being like, "What was all that really violent shit we did for no reason, and why isn't it in the film?"
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like this is like the 3rd or 4th movie where we've experienced that like seesaw of action comedy that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like the director looked back at it after the final edit and was saying like, okay, I'm really glad he kept this in, but I really wish he would have kept this in. And what is this? It's kind of gross. Like it was It wasn't the director's vision at all. It was like the quintessential worst production because it was the producer.
Okay.
All right, let's throw it to test number 6, the worst acting.
I'd have to piss on you to give you a clue.
It's the worst acting.
Yeah.
Chris, I'll bring that music back for the next season. Don't worry.
Please.
Do love it. You just see it in my face, huh? All right, number
1, Daddy.
This is my buddy.
Here. All right. This is Junior Bruce, your buddy and mine. And I'll be giving you the blow-by-blow, play-by-play when the kings and queens of the open road roar onto the track. Do I hear the sound of engines? It's Calamity Jane Kelly, queen of the road, at the wheel of that mean old ornery stud bull. Janie, winner of this year's trials at Watkins Glen, placed second in 1998 and led in last year's second lap until she went out with gear trouble. Her fans and lovers everywhere wish Janie better luck this year.
My fans can wish me all the luck they want. If my luck with my lovers gets any better, I'll miss the race completely. Isn't that right?
Why?
The announcer was my favorite character in this entire movie.
Junior Bruce?
Yeah, because it added, that's what made it an effective satire. He's just joyously providing commentary to horrific acts of violence as if he was talking about a badminton game. And that's what really sealed the deal for me.
And he was committed all the way through. At the very end, he's like, you can't end the games.
Yeah.
You gotta have the games.
You
gotta have the race.
He was like a proto Ryan Seacrest. He's just so glad to be there. Even though he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Same
but
kind
he was
of charm.
flat.
Yeah.
He was flat. It was he provided the campiness that this movie needed.
Yeah.
I just love when he's like, Junior Bruce, your buddy and mine. His own buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I consider myself a friend. All right, Rob, you mentioned this before. This is number 2 weeks in a row we're talking clams here. This is clam sauce.
You seem to forget, Joe, that I'm a representative of Mr. President's government. I happen to hold the power of life and death.
Yeah? I happen to hold the clam sauce.
Look out, Viterbo. You may be the second biggest clown in this circus, but if I want you dead, you're dead.
Sit down and eat.
I told you to stop playing that music!
Indecipherable.
Yes. That's Sly.
Yeah, his mouth constantly sounds like he's eating clam sauce.
How did 1975 off the boat Austrian Arnold Schwarzenegger have clearer enunciation than Sylvester Stallone during this time in his career?
That is a fair point, Rob. So this guy, who I thought was a worse actor than Sylvester Stallone, is some hotshot in the government, and he's telling Joe that he can kill him or whatever, and he says the second biggest clown in the circus, but it's so poorly delivered. The real star of the show, though, is the clam sauce. Is that what he said? Did he say clam sauce?
Yeah, he did.
Does he mean tartar?
Yeah, either that or a gravy made from a clam juice reduction of sorts.
There's a thing called clam sauce, isn't there?
Aaron, is there a thing called clam sauce?
Yeah. It's made with canned minced clams, clam juice, butter, and white wine simmered. So it's a reduction.
It's a reduction.
They simmer until thickened and serve warm over linguine.
I've
All right,
heard of
sorry,
white wine
Sly.
clam sauce. But still.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, sorry, Sly. I
It's not the
apologize.
best. It's not the best meal choice before going into a violent machine gun laden melee across the continent.
Yeah, you've got a point.
Yeah.
Let's throw it to number.
We're on number 3.
Yeah. 3. This is hand grenade.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
It doesn't make any difference what happens to me now.
Now that is the dumbest, sorriest thing I've ever heard you say. I don't believe you've got a drop of Thomasina Paine's blood in your whole body. The minute things get rough, you close your eyes and try to drive us off a cliff. If you just stop trying to kill me for a minute, I need your help.
How can you possibly expect me to help you?
You're my navigator.
You're the only one who knows where you're going. I mean, whose side are you on anyway? I thought the only thing you cared about was winning the race.
Sure. Only the winner of the race is to shake hands with Mr. President.
Is that a grenade?
A hand grenade. That handshake is all I've lived for as long as I can remember.
Now, wait a minute. I don't want you to die.
It's my life's work.
Yeah, now, I have a question.
Yeah.
That I'm encouraging people to answer by emailing us at www.theworstmovieevermade.com. What other kind of grenades are there?
I don't know. Clusters.
There's foot grenades.
Frags.
Well, there are grenade launchers out there.
Oh, never mind. Don't email us. Bob solved the mystery. Rocket propel. Yeah, rocket propel. Yeah, RPG guns. Yeah, I played Duke Nukem. I know what's up.
Do they shoot hands that have grenades in them?
No, it's just
only this movie does.
Yeah, they're handless grenades when you launch them out of a.
Oh, so they don't have fingers when you shoot them out of a gun.
No, I guess yeah. But like,
Okay.
it was a grenade in his hand. If this felt redundant.
This movie did have a grenade shaped like a hand, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be really funny, I think. Or if it wasn't, then what were they thinking?
That was Chad Smith's favorite part, and he's sorry he didn't watch the movie. He couldn't participate.
Oh, Chad, we miss you. Come back. All right, hey, let's throw it to fact or no fact.
Can you spell MGM backwards? I bet you can't.
MGM.
I'm impressed.
That's a fact. Now here's some more.
All
right, this was Death Race 2000. I called it Disgrace 2000.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. And I have many things that I included in the catch-all, one of them being the video game. So no, you didn't ruin that for me, Rob.
Okay.
Even the video game technically had no relation to the movie. It was just coincidence.
Inspired. Yeah.
Yeah. Not really inspired. It was just
Okay.
It was just coincidence.
All right.
I mean, I guess the verdict is out, on that one. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to read 5 things. You guys tell me which one's a lie. One of them definitely is a lie. Here we go. Okay. Number 1. The bulk of the stars in this movie only worked for 2 or 3 days. That's the first one. Second one. Several of the custom-built cars in the film were later sold to museums for more money than it cost to build them. Okay, number 3. Calamity Jane, that's Mary Warnerov, didn't know how to drive when she acted in the film. So the car she drove is actually being towed in the movie.
All right.
Fourth one. David Carradine, that's Frankenstein, refused to wear leather. So the costume designer made his outfit out of another fabric that looked like leather.
Okay.
And the fifth one. The appearance of the comic book character Judge Dredd was inspired by the visuals of Frankenstein's costume in this film. So find the lie.
See, I never read the Dredd comics, but I can't see a connection as to how the costume would be inspired by Frankenstein's. And the only connection I could see is that Sylvester Stallone was in Judge Dredd. So I'm thinking that might be some Bob foolery. David Carradine refused to wear leather. Costume was made out of another fabric. I mean, I could imagine that for a number of reasons. He could have been like a vegan or like, animal rights activist. And there are tons of synthetic materials that look like leather And also if it's a hot day on set, you don't want to be wearing leather from head to toe. So I could see that for like logistic or like ethical reasons, and them being able to pull it off as well. So that seems like a truth. Calamity Jane didn't know how to drive when she acted in the film, so the car was being towed. See, this is tripping me up because even if the actress portraying her didn't know how to drive, I would imagine most of the driving scenes, if they weren't like not green screen, but like back in the day, they do like the projector and they'd sit in a parked car and like you know what I mean? In the background was by, they do it in Seinfeld all the time. I could imagine that like most of the driving sequences were probably just towed for safety reasons or like labor reasons. So I think that might be slightly untruthful because I think most of the drivers were probably towed, not just Calamity's. So the fact that she could or couldn't drive would be irrelevant. Custom built cars were later sold to museums for more than their build cost. That's believable. I would imagine like Bruce Willis when he was opening up like Planet Hollywood, like being a bidder to get that on one of the walls of the restaurant. So I can see them like it's Hollywood memorabilia. You know, it's like people pay a lot for that shit. Like the Murph mobile from Wayne's World sold on Pawn Stars for a shitload of money.
Wow.
And they restored it and everything. The bulk of the stars only worked 2 for 3 days. That's kind of believable as well because I mean, there's not much to it. I mean, like most movies, if they're not like insanely choreographed sequences and it's just like dialogue and stuff, you could film most movies in a couple days if you're like willing to put in the hours and just knock it out. So that's believable. I'm gonna say the one I'm torn between number 3, Calamity Jane didn't know how to drive, and number 5 with the comic book character Judge Dredd, because Judge Dredd has like a cool like helmet and like a cool like chest piece.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say number 3 because I have a feeling it wasn't only her car being towed. I have a feeling that several of the principal characters' cars were being towed for logistical and safety reasons. So number 3 is the lie.
Yeah, Rob, I agree with your reasoning all the way through. So I think I'm going to go with number 5 because I don't think that Frankenstein's outfit was made of leather. It just looked too flexible to me. Yeah, and I believe the custom-built cars sold for more money than they cost to make. And that the bulk of the stars were only there for 2 or 3 days to film because nobody has a whole lot of scenes. It's pretty evenly spread out.
Yeah.
Making kind of a weird movie with hardly any lead. I guess it's David Carradine, but what a weird person to pick in like a plastic suit. Like it's really like making the gimp with no penis like your lead.
It's really more of an ensemble cast, really, if you think about it.
It really is. So yeah, I'll go number 5.
So there were many race movies in the 70s and 80s like this one. Cannonball was the one that followed this immediately. Then it was a couple years later, the Cannonball Run, which was a movie I grew up with, and the Cannonball Run 2. The Cannonball Run is where I took the fact from the bulk of the stars, and this movie only worked for 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
Oh no, that's a lie?
That was the lie.
So we're
Damn it.
So yeah, custom-built cars sold for more than they made. She didn't know how to drive. She was the only one, and she was the only one that didn't actually drive. Everyone else actually, Sly, they all actually drove.
Okay.
Don't forget, it's low budget. They didn't have stunt drivers or tow trucks available.
And it's the 70s,
Yeah, that's right.
Carradine wouldn't wear leather. And, inspired Judge Dredd's costume. I think it was the helmet and the mask, I think. I don't know. All I know is it was inspired. I mean, look at Carradine in this movie. He's a skinny, like, not a Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
No. like not an intimidating figure.
Super cop.
Yeah.
It made me laugh when he was beating up Sylvester Stallone, who's like jacked as shit, I was like, this would never happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it made me laugh because he was Kung Fu and he was Rocky. And I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a coincidence that Dredd was inspired by Frankenstein when Sylvester would go to play him in the 90s.
Yeah.
The amount of things I actually cut from Fact or No Fact was amazing because there was so much like that, and that was one of the things was the whole Judge Dredd. That was the follow up and Sly would go on to star as Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
How about that? All right, let's start to the catch-all.
Time for the catch-all, which is basically just boob jokes.
Take a look at these tits. What are these, watermelons? This is a stage, babe. It's not a patch. See ya.
And you still show them tits and ass.
All right.
Why does only Joe get machine guns, and why doesn't he ever use them? Well, you kind of talked about this.
We touched on this in the intro. They forgot, and then they decided to have him open fire on a crowd of innocent people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just if you have like all weaponry at your disposal, and only one of the racers decided to like put two machine guns and a giant knife at the front of his car, I feel like he has an unfair advantage. If I were another driver, I would also put machine guns in the front of my car so that I can shoot people while driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved how all the hosts' microphones just said TV.
I didn't even catch that.
Very good point.
Where the station identification would be on the microphone, it just said TV.
Yeah.
Every one of them. That was
funny.
awesome.
So,
because in the future, there's only one TV.
Exactly.
Right.
Future.
Right. Yeah.
Most of my nitpicks have to involve the gameplay itself, because there's two scoring methods. It's like you completing the race first, but also like the collateral damage you rack up along your travels.
Right.
But it's just weird because if they're racing, why are they all stopping at the same pit stops for like fancy dinners and massages and butt stuff with a mechanical penis? Shouldn't they just keep going? Like, shouldn't you hit up a drive-thru or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, I'm just gonna piggyback on Rob just because it's the same thing. Why are toddlers and elderly the most points? They're the easiest targets. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. There should be like if you could hit like a Usain Bolt type. You know,
a teenager on bath salts or something. Someone spry and virile, you know?
Right, exactly.
Imagine if they just had like a cage full of like methamphetamine hopped up teenagers who just let the cage loose, like chase them, go.
Just let it go in the middle of the country.
We just made a better movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. That's what it should have been. All right, so I'm gonna ruin while piggybacking on yours. One of my future catch-alls, but I felt like this inspired Running Man a little bit. I think it would have been a cooler movie if it was criminals they were running down. Like the faster, the more athletic, the stronger, the more points they're worth, and they have the like target like with the number on their back or something.
There is a Gerard Butler film called like The Gamer or Gamer, where like it's maximum security prisoners that like are fighting, like a gamer's using the prisoners as an avatar in like melee death matches.
Oh, cool!
And then whoever survives like gets to go free or something like that.
It's like
so if they could like combine all those premises and redo Death Race, that would be fucking awesome, actually.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, so for my official, and Rob, this is to your point as well. It's not a race if you can win on points.
Yeah.
It's a game, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a game, not a race.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do two and one because I have way too many. She called the navigator a red hot sex pot.
She did.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Speaking of the camera crew, they didn't do a very good job at predicting future cameras.
No, that's true. They didn't.
Yeah.
But between the TV cameras and regular photo cameras, they look just like the ones from the mid-70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Bad job.
Yeah.
That's it.
Back to the clam juice. Are you telling me that Sylvester Stallone was just eating a pile of linguine soaked in clam juice with his hands? Because even before he flung it, he's just like sitting there like his hands is covered in like white sauce. Like
that is true.
Was that improvised? Was that in the script? Like why?
Yeah, why not a fork?
Why couldn't he have been eating with a fork and like tipped his plate over on the guy? Why is he just like willy nilly, just like flicking that shit?
I really don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Okay.
It took about 60 seconds to go from the Lincoln Tunnel to the mountainous terrain. At the start of the race, they're traveling about 30,000 miles per hour, I think, according to the graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead, Bob.
This is both a worst production and critique. A lot of the racing footage was sped up to look like an earnest movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's for
in turn, that bullfighting guy was such a dumb gag. Oh
yeah.
God,
Oh my God. Not funny at all.
Yeah.
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 It was bad.
I kind of like how Frankenstein had his like designated drop zones where he knew like the senior citizens will just be like going out for like their recreation hour.
Yeah.
Then like, he misses most of them too, doesn't he?
He on purpose he ran the doctors over.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
which, in my opinion,
yeah,
in Bob's opinion, they should be worth more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are the cameras? Like when they're out in the middle of the desert and there's a kill happening, where is there a camera?
I don't know.
That's a very good point. I think that's why they were going 30,000 miles an hour, because like they I think they were in production. They're like, wait, we need to provide commentary for this entire race, but let's only highlight like the major cities as they pass through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was a like a fisherman that got run over at like some like shortcut ditch that Machine Gun Joe like made the decision last second to like, how could they have possibly had a camera there?
Yeah. Orwellian
just to go off
dystopia,
on that one as well, not to ruin my future one, but the car that got blown up, the first car that got blown up, was towed to the pit stop on time because they showed all the cars in line getting cleaned up and everything, and they showed the one that was all destroyed. That made me angry.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and to both your points, why do they all take such wildly different directions to like pass through Delaware or whatever? The map like forks out in like three different. Like, they're all going like 3,000 miles in the opposite direction, then converging.
Right. There is only one like correct answer for.
Isn't the most direct way to go somewhere a straight line, no matter what?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it had to do with hit points.
Yeah, scoring opportunities.
Yeah, I
There's
guess.
more toddlers east of here.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Running Man, can we do the Running Man, please? Sure. I know it's not really a bad movie. I love it so much, but I think we could make fun of it like a bad movie, and I just want to do it so bad.
I haven't seen like a lot of the Philip K. Dick adaptations, but I love his novels, so I'm overdue.
No, that's
not Philip K. Dick.
King.
Running Man. Oh, who am I? What am I? I think I'm Blade Runner. I think. Yeah.
Blade Runner is Blade Runner Philip K. Dick? Okay.
Yeah,
I think so.
Chris, I think we had the right idea the first time. That should be a live TikTok viewing.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so down for that.
A live riffing, I think, would be better because you and I know the movie really well.
Yeah.
Oh, so well. Oh my god, it'd be amazing. And
all right,
just to have Rob along just to enjoy it with us. Would it be your first time, Rob?
Oh, watching which one? Running Man?
The Running Man? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh my god, amazing. We must do that.
Yeah.
We should do that. All right, so here's my trailer. Actually, you'll see it. It's on the drive. The Death Race video game was introduced in 1976, a year after this came out, but it had nothing to do with the movie, and it was the first mass outcry against video game violence.
Oh, really?
Okay.
It had a connection to this movie because the game was exactly the movie. It was just cars running down people.
Yeah.
Watch the trailer.
Sounds like a fun game.
The footage from the old arcade game was just comical.
Yeah. I gotta give them for the year this came out and the budget they had, which was like $500,000, wasn't it? It was like something ridiculously. $500,000. It was low by like even 1975 standards, But the gore was still better than John Travolta shooting cow legs off with a blaster in Battlefield Earth, which came out in the year 2000.
Yeah. Ground beef.
Yeah.
Ground beef.
Shooting behind his back with his little... Yeah.
Pew, pew.
It was clearly like when like that spike ripped through the guy's like crotch. It was clearly just like, someone went to a butcher and just bought a bunch of cow parts and stuffed them in the guy's pants. But like,
yeah, right.
It was still not bad for the time it came out. I was kind of impressed that it was violent. It was like good, campy, fake violent, better than what I'll be talking about when we do our What We're Watching segment coming up.
Jeez. Okay. Cool. Does the leader of the American Resistance have a British accent?
Thomasina Paine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
She's a descendant of Thomas Paine, the revolutionary.
Yeah.
The sacrificial girl, the girl that gave herself to Frankenstein.
Yeah, to Frankenstein.
That was the director's sister.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
I didn't want to put that in fact or no fact because I did that for the faculty and you guys got mad. So.
All right.
Yeah, well, that's true. That was too tricky.
That was sneaky snake.
Bobfoolery. Was that the birth of Bobfoolery?
I think it might have been. So one thing I like doing when I watch movies like this, about like big events, is imagining what it was like. Imagine you are we're all fathers of children, and we go to events and like, movies and stuff. Imagine loading up all your kids in the car, the ordeal it takes to get to the stands, the price of admission, snacks, all that. And then you're just sitting in bleachers for like 27 hours waiting for the cars in the competition to whiz by in 35 seconds. Like the amount of effort that goes into like bringing your family to watch this event live.
Yeah,
the juice is definitely not worth the squeeze by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Yeah, you're right, because they're only there for like they get introduced.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Spend like $900 on beer and it's like, vroom! All right, let's go home.
Excuse me, I gotta blow my nose. Doing it like very quietly for the microphone.
Yeah.
Joe should have killed both Frankenstein hangers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like one of the guys hanging a Frankenstein sign is like, go ahead and kill the other dude. So Joe does that, but why doesn't he kill both of them? They weren't even rooting for him.
He's got his machine guns, apparently, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have.
Right. Even if the ones in the car don't actually work, he still has one in the back of the car. So
yeah.
Hey, so the Roger Corman, the producer, actually drove the cars himself in all the scenes that were shot on public streets because the custom-built cars weren't street legal and they kept getting pulled over.
Oh, God.
So he was taking one for the team, basically? If he got caught?
Basically, he was like, I'll take the hit for all this.
Yeah.
Goes into the budget.
We don't want the actors to be in trouble. Yeah.
All right.
That was kind of funny.
This is I answered my own question just with what I had written down here. There are grenades that aren't hand grenades. There are baby grenades. And I think this was the very first movie in history to depict a baby grenade. That is a figurine of a baby stuffed with plastic explosives.
I think that was a minor mine.
A minor mine. Got it. All right.
The moment where cars hit humans are just like so terrible that I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And just because Bob said it already, but tit scope engaged.
Yeah, lots of movies.
Yeah, but the death race pit stop half naked waltz was like so cringy.
Yes,
I couldn't
really was.
I like had to. I think I paused it at that moment and like fast forwarded because I was like, this has to end fast.
Yeah.
But just to piggyback off Chris, they couldn't make the blood darker. Like It's not like they hadn't seen blood before.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy about 70s movies.
It looks like paint.
It's the corn syrup and food dye maneuver, probably. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. But couldn't they make it darker?
Yeah.
They could have.
Evil Dead could, like 4 years later. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is true. I'm gonna end on this one, I think. With Frankenstein, his whole, it's like a guy pretending to be it's like a character, right? So do you think that was like inspiration for like The Undertaker in wrestling? Because like isn't it the same character played by different wrestlers throughout his run? Am I recalling that correctly?
The
I'm
Undertaker?
not big on, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was this guy, Mark. Can't believe I can't remember. His last name starts with H. But he is the same guy his whole career.
Oh, who am I thinking of then? I thought there was one wrestler that was like, because I likened all these people to like professional wrestlers, like with their names and like their personas. But I might be mistaken Undertaker for somebody else. I thought there was like one pro wrestler where like it was more like a character than like the actual personality behind the character.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I could be mistaken. So never mind.
I think it's Mark Halloway. Anyway,
Right.
he started in like 1988 or something like that,
Right.
and wrestled until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember his retirement.
Yeah.
Right. That's all I got.
Huh.
Okay. Why is the Resistance only ever like 10 seconds ahead?
Yeah, artistic license is the answer.
Especially if they have a navigator as a spy.
They're barely ready.
Yeah, they can never finish their traps.
Yeah. They're a wily coyote.
Considering how many roads there are in the States, it's amazing they pulled that off. I mean,
agreed.
The traps.
Yeah.
But like you said, they had a navigator for a spy. It made sense.
Yeah.
I have a couple more, but I'm only gonna say two. Watching the guy that played Kung Fu famously in Rocky fight, as I already said, was just epic.
Yeah.
But also, I'm surprised they didn't predict any sort of GPS in the future. Like everything was still done on like paper maps.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just a little surprised because
they didn't do any good future predicting at all.
No, none at all. Everything was pretty much current tech with just future years.
Yeah.
Agreed. Frankenstein and Annie stop at the same side of the road spot twice.
I did notice that.
Sequences.
It looked exactly the same.
That drove me insane.
Yeah.
I'm done, Chris.
Do you guys want to see a clip?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. This is called Edit Issue for a good reason. There is a major edit issue with this clip, so check it out, our YouTube audience.
Okay. www.theworstmovieevermade.com.
Pick up that flag, young man.
It's time for action.
It is not a time for violence.
Mrs. Payne, I love Annie as much as you do. But she's no match for...
The guy's mouth is not moving, and he is delivering dialogue.
Yeah. It's basically The Room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The secret agents in brown suits have 5 pens in their pockets each.
Yeah.
That's great.
I guess that makes you look more official.
Yeah, color code your correspondence, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Why are there stops along the way where everyone's offered nude massages? With that being said, to your point, Rob, the last leg of the race is the only one that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's not a race and points matter.
Just like Family Feud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You're just allowing yourself to tie until the last. Yeah. It's stupid.
Or basically any sport, unless it's a total blowout.
Yeah.
After openly acknowledging the rebels, the government is now denying them completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got 2 more. There's a good car explodes for literally no reason trope in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just love the quote, Mr. and Mrs. President Frankenstein.
Yeah.
If I had heard that and then they were like, do you want to watch this movie? Off of just that, I would have been like,
yeah. I do have one more point. I think about it. Frankenstein killed the president on live television, and like seemingly everybody's really into this death race, right?
Yeah, and they all seem to really like the president.
His mutiny seemed a little too easy, is the point I'm trying to make. Is like he just like if like when John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln, like he had to fucking run for it, you know? It's not like he became president immediately and was like forever. but like you know, it's like you don't like just get away with that. You'd think there'd be some loyalists that would be like that would pick him off like immediately.
Yeah, be like, hey, we don't like that.
Yeah. Hey, you, knock it off. Yeah. That's all I got.
All right, let's throw it to what we're watching.
Okay. Do we have one more clip, Chris? Or are you saving that for later?
Oh, do we?
We have an abuser.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about you. Do it.
I can't have no schmuck!
That Sylvester is screaming something about not being a schmuck.
Yeah. All right, so what we're watching?
Yeah.
So we're talking about things we like, and in some cases,
It looks better than a 10-inch dick, and you know it.
All right.
I watched 2 movies last week with my wife. We had a couple of movie nights. It was awesome. The first of which was The Menu with...
I heard good things about that.
Yeah, Fiennes. I can never remember if his name is Ray or Ralph. I think it's Ralph. Fiennes. Yeah,
it's Ralph.
And that was really interesting. It's one of the many projects I've seen since Squid Game, though, that has a Squid Game style vibe to it.
That's what happens. One thing catches on, then there's like a bunch of stylistically similar.
It was a little copycat-ish. It's not the same story by any stretch. It's uncomfortable, though, in the same way to elicit the same kind of feeling. And I don't mind that feeling. I think it's artistically interesting. So, like, I did kind of enjoy the movie. The other movie that I watched that I did not enjoy, however, was The New Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal. And I think it's a candidate for the podcast, potentially.
I've heard...
Wow.
With Conor McGregor, right? I've heard mixed things about that. I've heard people say it's really fucking awesome, and I've heard people say that like it didn't deserve to see the light of day.
It's terrible. I didn't even finish it.
All right.
Wow, it'll be the first one we did. It's original and remake.
Yes.
All right. As soon as we can get our hands on it, we'll do it.
It's topical too, so.
Yeah, it is topical. All right, I watched a handful of movies, but I'm only going to mention the 2 I liked because the other ones weren't worth mentioning. I finally watched 1985, The Color Purple, with Whoopi Goldberg, Danny Glover, Oprah Winfrey. And I'll have to say, holy crap, it was amazing.
Wow.
Steven Spielberg at his, I think, dramatic first, because he was doing all sci-fi and action and horror before that. Like, it was like Jaws and Close Encounters and E.T. and all that kind of shit. And then he did The Color Purple, and it was just... wow. I want to say at least 3 times I had to like stop and like clear my eyes of tears because it was just like I couldn't see the screen anymore.
Yeah.
It was just really, really well done.
Nobody wants to see an all-white version of The Color Purple. Sucks for them. I digress.
That is such a good clip. We talk about that all the time.
Yeah. Continue, Bob.
And then I watched. So I'm a fanboy of Darren Aronofsky. He's the one that made. Shoot, no, I can't think of it. Requiem for a Dream.
Okay. Yes.
And he also made. He made a lot of good movies, and I like everything he does. And this one's called The Fountain, and it was.
Oh, okay. I almost mentioned The Fountain because I knew that was Aronofsky. But...
It was panned by critics; like they didn't love it.
Yeah,
I really did. I thought it was really, really great.
All right.
It's art. Like
it's
just like The Whale. The Whale is not for everybody, but it's
right.
an artistic film, and so was this. It's just and Hugh Jackman is the lead in this, and he carries the whole movie. He does a great job.
He's good at it.
I recommend it. I recommend it if you have patience and can appreciate something for its vision, not just its content.
Yeah.
If it makes
Okay.
sense.
All right. So I rewatched The Room because I just felt like it. It had been a while. I've been taking there's a great version on YouTube called The Room Clean, and it's literally The Room minus the sex scenes. So it's 10 minutes shorter, basically.
Yeah.
But like I've been taking screen
if
captures.
If you don't have your tit scope on you.
Yeah, I've been taking screen captures of just like, you're tearing me apart, Lisa, and just like sending them to my dad at like 3 a.m. just to piss him off. I woke up this morning because I said like, in a few minutes, bitch. I sent that clip over to like my family group chat. My dad's like, what is this? I'm like, just look it up. You'll find out.
Did you send that first clip to your dad after you put the lid back on your toilet?
Yeah. And then what I really want to talk about is Poultrygeist: Night of the Chicken Dead.
Oh God!
It's a 2006 film by Trauma Entertainment. For those who don't follow that production company, they're the ones that distributed Matt Stone and Trey Parker's Cannibal the Musical.
Cool.
They're famously low budget, campy, extremely gory, extremely racist, homophobic in their dialogue. They're just meant to be shock value films.
Yeah, it's very immature stuff.
Yeah, this was personally financed by Trauma Entertainment co-founder Lloyd Kaufman. He dipped into his personal retirement fund to finance the movie, a big portion of it. And also about 300 extras in the film were just like answering to Craigslist ads and horror movie forums to work for free. It's about a militarized fast food chicken restaurant called American Chicken Bunker. And it's built on an ancient Indian burial ground.
Of course it is.
And what happens is, upon opening the restaurant, the main character, Arby, works with colorful characters named Denny, Carl Jr., a flamboyant Mexican named Paco Bell, and a Middle Eastern woman named Hummus. And what happens is the chickens get possessed by the souls of the disenfranchised Native Americans whose burial ground was just sabotaged to build a chicken restaurant, and B, hundreds of thousands of souls of tortured chickens that were sent to concentration camps.
Oh God!
And it's extremely violent. It's extremely funny. Titscope would go fucking haywire, and it's surprisingly has like a 64% critical and audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's terrible. It's hilarious. It's one of those movies that lets you know why God stopped talking to us. But I strongly recommend it.
Cool.
That's Troma, man. They actually just put out a not a casting call, but a crew call. They're making a movie in Pittsburgh, and they're looking for crew, and they're like, "We'll teach you on the spot. You don't have to have any experience." It's like,
we just need
if you want to learn the industry
Yeah.
by Lloyd Kaufman on the cheap, then come make this movie. I forget what it's called, but it's not as funny as Poultrygeist.
Here's one fun little factoid that I'll leave you guys with. They were filming in an abandoned McDonald's, and in their contract with McDonald's or whoever owned the franchise that was now defunct, they weren't allowed to shoot any nude scenes on the premises. So they reconstructed the set that was in the McDonald's in an abandoned church and filmed all the nude scenes. And that abandoned church also housed about 70 crew members when they were not working and only had one bathroom.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Labor of love, my friends.
Yeah, that's a lot of dedication.
Yeah. So check it out. It's on TV.
Yeah, the Toxic Avenger is the most famous and like their poster boy for Troma films.
Yeah.
I would consider it for an episode because it's not good, but it's, as a kid I loved it. As an adult I hate it.
Les Claypool did Electric Apricot through Troma as well. They distributed it. It's like a It's like a jam band version of Spinal Tap. It's not like their usual canon. It's just like they just like Les Claypool, and they're like, okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Cool. I've only got 2 names for back credit names, so let's do it, and it'll be super fast. I'm sorry, it's disappointing.
Sure.
You get it.
I'm a dancer.
You're a dancer. Then Henry here is the fucking Virgin Mary.
I got big tits in the fucking Virgin Mary, and I got a bigger mouth, too.
Then Henry here is the fucking Virgin Mary.
God damn it. You're the only one who could get my tits popping right.
Then Henry Mary.
Bad credit names.
All right.
Yeah, so the first one's not even funny. There were like 10 credit names. I think
Okay.
all the cast were also shooting the movie.
All right.
According to how many credit names there were. But Jack Favorite.
Okay.
Huh.
Favorite's kind of fun. And then Junior Bruce was played by a guy. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. The real Don Steele.
Is the
That's what he
real
went
in
by.
quotes?
No.
It's all okay.
Yeah, the real
Okay.
Don Steele. All right, let's throw it to the offensive minigame.
Yeah.
Must be weird not having anybody come on you.
It's the offensive minigame.
All right.
Gramps gets group got or Frankenstein's fake fuck stick.
Gramps get group got.
Yeah, I agree, Gramps.
He's super sweet 16 his entire family's way into getting killed by murderous lizards.
That's really well said. Doggy death or senior slaying and child trampling.
I'm gonna go with
Child
the latter
trampling.
because
Yeah.
dogs don't have souls. But like, if it was just dogs against something else, like, yeah, it's always sad to see a puppy bite the bullet. But in this case,
Hey man,
Hmm?
all dogs go to heaven.
okay. But yeah, I'd say the killing
Yeah, I
senior
agree.
citizens and babies with the car's worse.
Yeah.
Cool. Machine gun molly-whop or
Okay.
Proud Elliot's jean jumpsuit penis pants. Brought it
I'm
back
gonna
from its original.
I'm gonna go with the women beating.
Yeah, I agree. Machine
Okay.
gun.
Wow. So the more offensive movie is
Yeah.
Death Race 2000.
By a very slim
Figure.
margin.
A movie called Death Race is more offensive. Go figure.
Yeah,
And-
imagine
and
that.
frogs. Yeah.
In the 70s with Nazis and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw it to the movie comparison.
You know, what is it that you think you do? You fuck them without fucking them. That's what you do. I saw you. Man, everybody got AIDS and shit. Well, it ain't right. Bitch, I'm telling you the truth.
And so are we with our movie comparison. You know, they had an Academy screening of Showgirls recently, and like Elizabeth Berkley was met with a standing ovation, and she had like a very heartfelt, like tearful acceptance speech.
Wow.
Oh.
Anywho.
Okay.
How about that? Negative 44.4 and worst for frogs, a plus 42.8 and best, so like somewhere around an 80-point swing there. We're gonna give it to frogs.
They're both absolute valuing from 0, basically.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Rob, you had a 4-star for frogs.
Yeah.
And I had a 4 1/3 star. So Death Race takes that one too. We just determined that it's more offensive. How about dialogue? What's worse, frogs or Death Race? I can't tell. They're both so bad.
I honestly, for dialogue, I think Death Race.
Yeah.
After hearing all your clips, it was just pretty bad.
It was really stupid.
Anything that has the flagrant use of like Nazi regalia as well, kind of seals the deal.
That's fair. Endless animal close-ups or producer problems?
Close-ups.
Yeah, close-ups.
Yeah, it is so bad. How about acting?
Frogs.
Frogs is definitely worse.
All right, casual racism, or I'm assuming we're going to go with something Nazi-themed for the demerit here. Although it's already the most offensive, but it didn't win by Nazi.
I'd say like the point system is the demerit, right?
Yeah, the fact that it's a race, but you can win by not winning.
Yeah. But I'd still say, because they're both kind of casually racist. Should we watch it and use it as a tiebreaker? Should we need to?
Well, we would need to. It's 3-3.
Oof.
So the demerit to the tiebreaker.
Yes.
Shit. Well, I would watch Death Race again. I would not watch
Death Race again.
So
just for the scope.
If we're gonna do the gun to head test, I think Frogs would lose.
Winning.
I think Frogs gets an extra demerit for no tit scope.
Also that.
That's true. We got like the penis scope on that one.
Yeah.
What would you call that? The penis periscope?
Dick scope.
Yeah, dick scope.
Yeah, dick scope. That works.
Yeah. Ball barometer. Shaft scanner. Shaft scanner.
I really like the shaft scanner. That's the winner, I think. Speaking of winners, the worst movie of the season is still Frogs. It cannot be beat, even though Death Race gave it a good run. But I think that feels right, because like you said, I don't think I personally would watch it again, but if I had a choice between the two, I'd watch that one first. Yeah. Next week, it's finally happening, guys. It's finally happening. Plan 9 from Outer Space has won our poll.
Yeah.
It had to happen. It had to.
Yeah,
it's inevitable. Yeah. All right.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, me either.
Well, Ed Wood could be a consideration for best movie.
Okay.
Just like we did Disaster Artist for The Room.
Awesome. I think that makes sense for a pod too. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. We love you. I'm gonna. That's me speaking my piece, Rob. Why don't you plug us and then send it to Bob's last word?
Yeah. www.theworstmovieevermade.com. That's where you can find the podcast. That's where you can find the video feed. That's where you can find our Instagram and our TikTok and our email as well. We have we do polls every week. We vote against movies against each other. That determines what we're watching in the following week. Or if you email us directly, we will just do that title outright because we listen to our listeners, guys.
We do.
And then one thing we talked about off air, which I think we could do like a little soft intro to, we're going to try on our TikTok every once in a while, collectively or individually, just doing a live stream of a movie watch and just talking shit.
Man.
I personally will try doing it on Sunday nights, but it really depends on life. But if it's something that we just surpassed 1,000 followers, which allows us to live stream, so we've been trying to toy with how to have fun with that concept. And that's all I got. Bob, what are your last words?
Oh, it's got to be clam sauce.
Clam sauce. Clam sauce and shaft scans. Thank you for listening. We will watch Plan 9 from Outer Space next week. Ta-ta. This is black coffee, and I have a stomach bug.
All you need is clam sauce.
All I need is clam sauce. All you need is sauce. All right. Bye, Jay School.